Hey guys and gals, Never here from Drakewing Game, and some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you with a Let's Play episode of Green Eyres End. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm chain, you are up, and let's go. Alright. If you lost these really old memories, would it change who you are now? It probably would. Things I feel now are still influenced by what I experienced back then. Now I have a few questions for you, dear guest. Do you feel like you can trust me now? My instincts say no. I don't think I can trust someone I just met, even if they share personal information with me, especially when they are so knowledgeable about psychological manipulation. As far as feelings go, I'm mostly numb. Even with the goat trying to remain professional, his tone had much more emotion on it than mine. It's probably the lack of memories. I don't have anything to relate to. I think I can trust your professional degrees. That's good. Do you think I have ulterior motives? Could have, but I can't tell. I don't blame you. We just met. I'm intentionally putting you into a manipulative situation. I appreciate that you have identified the possible negatives and separated them from the potential positives. So as long as you let Paz help you when you are in need, that should be enough. Differentiate paranoia from genuine concern and you'll go far. Do either of you have any more questions, or should we end this session by now? Only one more. Is Paz joining our meeting with tomorrow? Well, I would prefer for him to join. I don't think Tefnut will allow that. Technically speaking, both me and Lycaon have psychiatry degrees, and we have put ourselves in charge of you. Yet another one would be excessive, especially when I'm not fully aware of the god's rules. Precisely. I'll be close by, so you can talk to me as soon as the meeting is over. Dear guest, please allow Paz to help you reorganize your memories. I believe this is for the best, especially under such a strict timeline. And, as you've heard, he's also from the village, which I presume you intended to visit. He'll make for a good guide. I'll let him do his work then. Thank you, dear guest. I'll leave the two of you until further notice then. As the lion says this, his form slowly disappears in midair. The goat gets up from his seat, approaching me. Together we return to the halls outside. Should we leave for your room then? Yeah, how do we get there? Just walk through any corridor with the intent to reach your room. Anyone you want to tag along will be able to follow. I do as instructed. We trekked through the place until we finally transitioned back to my room. Paz looks around the room, quickly examining the overall design. I do the same, only now realizing I should have bothered checking this place more thoroughly before. The goat waves his hand over to one corner. A chair spawns in front of him. At some point, he summoned a notebook too. Please, take a seat and relax. It'd be best if we did this while you're comfortable. I sink onto the chair. It's incredibly soft and ergonomic. Getting comfortable won't be much of a problem. I'm already feeling pretty nice. Are you ready to begin? I remember the goat's patience before answering every question, keeping his breathing steady and smooth. I decide to do the same, taking a few deep breaths, letting a minute go by before answering. Yes. The goat smiles, nodding in approval. Let's begin with the basics. First, tell me what you remember about yourself. Name, place of birth, age, etc. My name is Daniel Rocha, 19 years old. I don't know where I was born, but I was likely raised in Green Eyres End. Slowly, I recount everything I've discovered about myself so far. A few times I go off topic and start talking about the town and the mysteries I've seen, but the goat always railed me back to the necessary strand. Second, y'all. One at a time. I see. Very well, Daniel. Have you been informed about how each individual's room is designed? Loosely, they're designed by our subconscious, then passed through designers to ensure no dangerous elements are included. Correct. Our designers also ensure that each room fits that host's personality and needs best. However, in your case, I was informed the decor hasn't been updated in a very long time. Likely an issue caused by your contract split. Wait, are you suggesting they've been working on this before I died? Indeed, our managers often do so in order to prepare for the soul's arrival. Often it's to soften the blow of transitioning to the afterlife. In your case, though, this room isn't very convincing as a part of the living world, is it? I noticed something was off right away, so this isn't really reflective of me? To an extent, but it still showcases important things from long into your past. Remembering those might be much harder for you, though. The town and the layer between is still our best bet for recovering your memories quickly. The goat moves over to the bookshelf. He picks a few titles out, reading out loud their front and back. The concepts of a few characters and scenes flash through my mind, most of whom are either lovable doofuses or troubled protagonists. Paz showed me each book as I read through. They patiently wait for me to think and describe any bits of memory as I regain before moving on to the next. Seems like most of these are romance and comedy novels. I can't read the Greek titles, though. Judging by the cover, they might be mystery or educational. Paz taps on the wall. Static sound comes through. This is Paz speaking. I request a translation from Greek to Spanish, please. I'll send the coordinates. Figures they'd have something like that. Useful, isn't it? Look! Paz shows me the book cover. The letters slowly transform to reveal a translated title. The Town of Echoes. That was fast. We have a lot of people on the job. There's more dead people than alive, after all. That sounded morbid. I apologize. Hey, it's fine. I'm dead, too. That said... I reach for the book the goat is holding. He hands it to me and I begin to inspect it, opening pages to read through. It takes a while for the translation to catch up, so I read only the first few paragraphs. A strange wave of nostalgia hits me. I remember passages from this book, but I don't recall reading it myself. Someone had a knack for acting and was very enthusiastic about mystery novels. Second, y'all. Water time. Alright, y'all, and we are back. Okay. Was that Lycaon? My eyes shoot back open. I'm staring back at the curious goat's face. Did you remember something? I think so. It was very vague. I described the memory to Paz. The goat tries reading the book for me, trying to act out the scenes. It doesn't give the same feeling, though. What a shame. Let's try reading the other ones. Maybe they'll unlock more memories. The goat continues to read the other translated books. The Black Gate, Creek of Souls, a masked bunny at the table. They gave the same feeling as the first one, but nothing new. Then we move on to educational books about herbology, geography, psychology, and modern languages. A few random facts pop into my head, but I don't feel much emotional attachment to them. Finally, the goat finds a section that holds mostly incomplete books. I recognize the titles and premises as the same I found in the bedroom at my house. Were you trying to be a writer? I think I was. Seems like I didn't get very far. Perhaps, but to start is always a good thing. Writing can help you analyze and organize your thoughts, even if you're turning them into stories for others to enjoy. It might be good for you to discover why you stopped writing. We have several people here who are writers and can help you break through most roadblocks. I personally would recommend picking up the habit for at least a few months while you rediscover yourself. I'll ask for a few classes and tips then. Good. Shall we move on? I nod. The goat scans the room, moving on to the center of it. He gestures to the many golden plants growing from the ground. Aren't those the midnight sun rays you created? No, these are called golden leaves. Their surface is highly reflective, but they don't emit light. Golden leaves are quite rare, so it's surprising you know about them. Do you have any theories how I would? Actually, yes. Golden leaves require a remarkably low amount of sunlight to grow, meaning they can spread even inside caves. I wouldn't be surprised if you found a nearby cave or a secluded area that had a patch of them. Golden leaves also don't stand out as too strange. There are plenty of other plants that are gold-colored. They make me feel very comfortable and safe. I don't exactly know what I'm feeling. Do you want to know an interesting fact about them? It's something that the midnight sun rays lack. Are the midnight sun rays not just an upgrade then? Oh, hardly. I was aiming to simply create a light source and made many compromises to achieve it. The golden leaves, however, provide sight in a different way. They are extremely sensitive to humidity and bend their branches towards any accumulation of water particles in the air. So, whichever way you see them pointing is sure to have a river, a deposit, or something else. When I was planning my escape from the village, I grew its roots to search for the exit points of the village's cave tunnels, mapping out all possible routes to the lake in town. Golden leaves are also great for wound patching and tea brewing. Perhaps you knew that, hence the comfort. Do you like tea? Yeah. Tea time. I'm actually drinking tea right now. Very, very potent Earl Grey. The Earl of Grey. I don't remember any tea taste, but I do know what it is. Then it remains a mystery for now. The goat moves to the walls. He inspects the various drawings in them. Meanwhile, I take a deep breath and try to focus on them. My vision goes dark. I can feel there are several memories about to surface, but it's too chaotic for me to make sense of everything at once. And instead, I try to focus on the most notable elements. Slowly, they began to form something I recognize. It's the manager. He's talking about something, yet the sounds are muddled and incoherent. His voice is clear on only one occasion. There's a land across the sea I work at. Fulfill this request and I shall give you a residence there. Oh, and don't tell anyone about this arrangement. My vision goes dark again. Next thing I remember is a bed of golden leaves. I can also feel the presence of other people moving about just out of sight. Beside me is a cup of tea, which I know is made from the same plants. I reach for the cup and drink it. The tea tasted light and sweet. The aftertaste had a punch of bitterness. However, the most notable thing wasn't the taste. It was a sudden wave of knowledge that informed me how the plant had changed from its base structure, how each molecule was transformed by the heat and water. I could also tell it was rich in vitamins, to the point it could be excessive to the average person with about 3 or more cups a day. Snap back to the present, to pause, patiently waiting for me to respond. I had another memory lapse! The goat listens carefully. He writes down several lines of notes before speaking again. That indeed sounds like how golden leaves taste like, and how they are composed. Do you think I was an animal companion? Maybe. From what I recall, there could only be 2 at the village at any given time. I was never told more couldn't exist outside of it. That said, I also never heard of any hybrids existing in town. Perhaps some look like normal people. My mind immediately flashes back to the mayor's transformation. Can someone be an animal companion without knowing? She said her human form was obtained later, but if she had a daughter, would they be born with her powers and be human? I share my thoughts with Paz. The goat's eyes go wide. There's a companion living outside of the village, then? And in a position of power? When we return to the layer between, I'd like to check her office if you're up for it. Sure, I'm quite curious myself. Are you ready to move on? I'd like to talk about the boat next. I nod, fixing on the boat. I feel intimidated, afraid by the weight of responsibility and failure. Given the information I just received, I assume this is the boat I used to reach Green Eyres End, as tasked by the manager. I'm unable to extract any other information from it, though. The goat nods and we move on to the last item on the room, the cat statue. My mind flashes back to the hotel's attic. I don't see anyone, though. Arkebi. That was the ghost cat's name. Alright, I'm actually going to pause it right there. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. I love you all, and I shall see you all in the next video. Bye-bye!